Circumstance,
doesn't
young parents,
matter.
unfit.
Who cares?
What would you recommend to those people if
Put it up for
someone's
adoption. Put it up for adoption, number one. And there's 2 million people on the adoption waiting list right now. But it is never the right thing to murder if a baby's going to be born into a slum. By what moral paradigm is that ever defensible? If
the
that's
baby's growing up and then it's, you know, I'm not going to say babies don't have feelings when they're in the womb. I'm sure that there's science
but
that they do.
I believe they have souls, right?
Okay,
So,
well, what if it's 1.5 years old and it's dying because it can't eat and it can't get nutrients because its
that
mother
doesn't
can't
happen in this
breastfeed?
country. It doesn't. We have an obesity problem, not a starvation problem. We have food stamps. We have food shelters. In this country, that's not an issue. Now, maybe in sub-Saharan Africa, that's a better argument, for sure.
But so you would just prefer like adoption?
Adoption, or it's like take responsibility for your orgasms. Like don't get
But
so.
a baby shouldn't be like a punishment, though, right? Like,
Exactly. A baby's not a disease or a tumor, so stop trying to remove it like it's a
Right.
tumor. A baby's not a punishment. A baby's a blessing.
Right.
What an amazing blessing to be able to bring life into the world. You see yourself in that baby. And as someone who's had 2 kids, it changes you. And for those of you that don't have kids that are like shaking your heads, you have no idea what you're talking about. How all of a sudden you have new conviction, new energy, new spirit, new meaning, new depth, new understanding. Where you have this baby that you're responsible for. You're like, that's going to outlive me. I'm going to raise that child. And you're like, oh yeah, you know, I think it's okay to abort it because it's really small and I can't see it. Like, basically you're saying, like, the Holocaust would have been fine as long as everyone would have been shorter than you. Right?
I don't really understand that.
No, but think about it. I mean, if it's a small baby and it's not as developed, I mean, by what moral standard is abortion okay? We don't murder based on size. We don't murder based on location. It's not okay to kill people in Milwaukee but keep people alive in Madison. Environment doesn't mean anything. Doesn't matter if like where your current environment is, your moral worth, or your degree of dependency, right? We don't go to old people's homes and start just popping around people that are, you know, have Alzheimer's or dementia. Like by no other moral standard do we apply to our existence, do we apply to abortion, because abortion deals with something that makes people so uncomfortable, which is that it deals with sex and pleasure and regret. And we think it's okay then to just kind of sweep a mistake under the rug, something you regret, although think about it before, but there's a victim in that circumstance.
But something you'll regret, something that you would consider a mistake, is a baby. And so obviously you're saying you want to have that baby born, but like a person shouldn't regret a mistake and then look at this baby and think about it.
That's where you have to take responsibility for your actions. And again, you can put it up for adoption, you can give it up to family members, but under no moral standard should we as human beings ever espouse should you be able to have evil just to make yourself feel better, just to make your life easier. By no moral standard is that okay. And if you think that moral standard is there, then we can have that discussion, right? But we all know it's not true. You guys are all decent, good people, obviously.
Okay, and then final thing, just what was the ultimate ruling that passed Roe v. Wade?
Yeah,
'Cause I
so
just never...
that's a great question. So Roe versus Wade was never a piece of legislation. So it was never voted on by Congress. It was never signed by a president. It was done by the Warren Court or the Burger Court. I think it was the Warren Court. I forget. It's one of the two. And it was a decision that said basically it was Jane Roe, and then there was also Jane Doe. It was two decisions, Roe and Doe, that happened one next to each other, that basically said that you have a national right to abortion except in the final trimester. Like other states instituted it.